Another big story today. Today is the 2-year anniversary of the fiery Norfolk Southern train derailment that forever changed East Palestine. As the village continues to rebuild, it recently announced a settlement with the rail company.
News 5 was just in East Palestine on Friday, checking back in with Smiley Ugar, whose home is right next to that derailment site. So now 2 years after that disaster, he told our Clay Lepard that he believes the focus should be on bringing people back to the village.
We're losing people real fast, so one day this will be known as the ghost town of East Palestine.
You said that a year ago, and it's still true today?
Oh yeah. Remember, East Palestine used to be a city. It's been dropping and dropping and dropping, and with this train derailment, that didn't help.
So today, News 5's John Cusick went back to East Palestine, as did the Vice President JD Vance.
So after the derailment, as Senator, Vance proposed the Rail Safety Act. John reports on the VP's message from today.
The train derailment and fire in East Palestine on February 3rd, 2023 occurred literally a month to the day after then Senator JD Vance was sworn into office. The controlled release and burn of hazardous chemicals in 11 of the 38 derailed cars sent toxins into the air, soil, and as Vance showed us in his first visit here, water.
Just see that chemical pop out of the creek. This is disgusting.
2 years later, he returns not as senator, but vice president, with a promise not just for him, but the country to remain committed to this community.
This community will not be forgotten, will not be left behind, and we are in it for the long haul in East Palestine.
That means finishing the cleanup and looking after the long-term health of the people impacted. With him was newly appointed EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, who vowed the administration's commitment will be one carried out by his department.
And because it is such a high priority for him, I will make sure that for the EPA, it is our highest priority, day in, day out, doing everything in our power to make sure that this is completed as quickly as possible.
Vance and Democrat Sherrod Brown launched a bipartisan push to pass the Railway Safety Act, called for advanced notification of first responders, tougher tank car standards, increased investment in hotbox detectors, and a new design of hazardous tank cars. There was early support and momentum, but soon that itself was derailed and the legislation died in the last Congress. And there has been little talk of it by Vance or the Trump administration since the election. So I asked the vice president. You now speak for the administration.
Sure.
Does the administration stand behind the Rail Safety Act as you introduced it?
Well, John, the president endorsed the Rail Safety Act, of course, when it came out. And so certainly I think that we can say with confidence the president shares my view that we need some common sense rail safety. And yes, that is something that we're going to work on over the next couple of years. It's something that I think that we have a much better shot at, frankly, with Republicans in charge. And so, yeah, I think things are a little bit different this time, and we're going to make sure we get this right.
And to that end, newly elected Senator Bernie Moreno tells me he plans to reintroduce the legislation into the Senate, and Representative Amelia Sykes' office tells me she plans to do the same in the House. In East Palestine, John Cusick, News 5.
And today, Representative Amelia Sykes, along with House members from around the country, held a media call with rail labor leaders to talk about reintroducing that Rail Safety Act.
Rail safety is not a partisan issue or a regional issue. It is a human issue. And that's why you see so many people, states and regions represented here today.
Sykes said incidents like what happened in East Palestine are preventable and added that lawmakers have to listen to the experts.
And for the first time, a wrongful death lawsuit has been filed in connection with that disaster. Filed today, the lawsuit alleges at least 7 deaths, including a 1-week-old baby, due to that train derailment in East Palestine. The suit also accuses Norfolk Southern and its contractors of a botched cleanup. And it accuses the EPA and CDC of not adequately warning residents about health risks. The plaintiffs also say they have lingering and unexplained health issues.